know why you don't just go Graves there. That's so weird to me, but we load into Game 2, Round 2 playoffs here in CBLOL Split 1. Liberty up 1-0 over Red, the defending Split 2 champions, with the entire roster back, are looking to turn things around. As Camcom said, it is a Scion, a Spellbook Scion in the top lane. I guess, I don't know, maybe they thought the Graves only worked with the Zillion, but Zillion never once ulted the Graves. So yeah. I would have liked for the run back, just dominate Gigo and lane again, but I think all eyes are on this bot lane between Titan and Mazukaze. This Ashe pick out of left field when Jinx is available, absolutely bananas of a pick in Game 2.
Yeah, and that is going to be mostly the pick to watch here for Red. I think absolutely this bot lane, now that it's not a hyperscaling Jinx, now that it's actually like sort of a lane bully type Ashe, right? This is a very important lane to watch, as I believe that was 93% in favor of Red. So the Twitter community here very much disagreeing with what we are saying on CBLOL English, as we were originally predicting Red. Again, in my magnificence intelligence of midnight predictions did put Red winning the entire split again, so so far not looking super hot for them. They did pick a very basically identical team comp identity to Game 1. Didn't work out for them in Game 1. Will it work out for them again in Game 2?
Again, basically feels like deja vu here in this bot lane. We'll see if JoJo wants to go in. These feathers from Matsukaze bullying Titan. Never thought we'd see Jinx just get through uncontested like this, as she has been a power pick in that bot side, especially for CBLOL among other regions. You know, I would assume that the popularity from Arcane driving her to the top of the charts is this time Liberty does play a bit more aggressive, and JoJo and company at level 2. This Grevtar at least gets a fear. I think Grevtar is what I'm curious about too as well. He messed up that teleport that we talked about at the end of Game 1, Camcom. I'm expecting that, you know, I would assume Avenger is there. I'm curious if Grevtar has another bad game, if Avenger would come in for Game 3. I'm very interested on how long these rosters for Red stays. They're clearly happy to make subs, as we saw last week.
Very beautiful animation of the hawk shot there, and yes, very quiet game. Titan very much beating out Matsukaze in the bot lane, but that's really the only significant lead that we have across the map. Kiari playing Scion is a completely different playstyle to the Graves. Graves is a champion that I would call solo carry type. He needs to get his own resources, not really a champion that you can give resources to other players. Scion, the complete opposite. This is one of those champions that you can go 0-5 in lane, and then later on you're still going to be a 1v9 hyper, or not hyper carry, but hyper split pusher in the side lanes, right? That is why you pick Scion. He can take inhibitors at 20 minutes consistently. One of the very few champions that can, and despite how many resources you can put into putting him behind, it will not matter. I have lost games to 0-15 Scions. I am not a fan of this champion when playing against it, but I am a fan of it seeing it picked.
Ooh, Samus potentially had a gank there with Guigo pushing forward. I just thought Scion started 0-15 Camcom. I'm confused why you highlighted it, because they just start 0-15, don't they? I've never seen a Scion ever get a kill before 0-15.
Yeah, so maybe they go 0-15 and then they get the gold reset for 1-15 and then they die another 15 times. That's just the law of Scion, right? That's typically how it works. And jungle pathing so far has been very similar. Topside jungle, or topside crab going over to Samus. Aegis picking up the bot side crab, but Aegis not really having any camps to clear down there on the bot side. Not knowing 100% where Samus is, going for a very scary gank here on the Kiari.
Oh, Kiari just flashes away. Didn't even want to deal with Aegis and Gigo under his tower. Great play there. But again, it's a Scion. It's one of those, like, yeah, you got flash on a Scion. Woohoo. As you point out, it's just a strong split push champion. Maybe that's why they picked it, because the Graves, it didn't do anything last game. It just existed. It got a lot of CS. So maybe they feel like the Scion has a bit more agency in the lane, but so far we see an engagement from JoJo onto Wasp. Titan is rotated up as well. Those Ashe slows do make it a bit easier, but Wasp will just simply will flash away, and we will get 2 flashes boned by Liberty here in the early game.
Jojo, so far 100% first bloods in this best of 5. So if he did get that first blood, I could continue saying that stat. That's a very funny stat to say. Titan did buy a Cole here on that first recall, so he already had a small lead. The lead is completely negated now, perfectly even in CS to Matsukaze. So from this point on, Titan, he's playing the scaling game, he's playing the farming game. Cole almost always means you're not playing for a level 6 super mega power spike, so he's here to mostly just vibe.
We see Desamus rotated up. It's level 6 on Crastiel, level 5 on Desamus. Another Cloud Dragon. This really is deja vu from game number 1. As Desamus is going to go in with the Sonic Wave onto Aegis, force him back. This should be a free dragon here for Liberty if they want, and of course they don't. Why would they? It's CBLOL. Dragons don't exist.
Hey, Fish, we had the dragon being taken by Aegis at this time last game, so we do have a difference from game 1 to game 2 so far. The first Cloud Dragon was not taken before the 6-minute mark. Oh no, we're going back to regular season. Hack shot there. Will it be able to spot out Desamus, which could almost mean that they could look for a dive, knowing that Desamus and Crastiel are not playing bot sides. But as I say that, Aegis is recalling, so they would have to go for a 2v2 dive, and Titan not having level 6, and neither Jojo either, so most likely won't. It was just kind of a hopeful, if you see jungler top side, maybe go for a dive bot kind of play.
Maybe set up some vision around Dragon. Again, this is the value of the Ashes, as you mentioned, Capcom, over that support because you get so much
they
vision.
Just keep seeing him.
the jungle tracking for Titan has been perfect. They have not missed a single hawk shot onto Desamus, but they haven't done anything with that information, as Aegis will realize his blue buff is warded. He'll take care of that. And we go back to Season 1 League of Legends, where we start cheering ward kills, so that's about the only thing that we have had happen in Game 2. I assume 8 minutes, Rift Herald, we're going to start getting ready to brawl.
See, we said that, and then game 1, there wasn't a fight for first Rift Herald at all. They walked up, smited it away, and walked out. That, I want to call it a steal, but it was almost just a leash. There was just not even a fight for it, right? As level 6s should be popped here in the next couple minutes by the bot lane. That typically does hopefully signal some sort of early plays. Level 7s on all 4 of the solo laners as well. First Rift Herald is the focus for red here. Desamus even being on the bot side means that you can play a play on the top side. Getting both the ultimates out from both top laners can signal the start of the Rift Herald here in just a couple of seconds.
Game 1 all over. Gigo missing the Gnar early on, right around Rift Herald time. I'm getting spooked out here a little bit, Camcon. There's too many similarities for me to feel comfortable. This time it will be Aegis who will leash the Rift Herald. We'll see if Liberty can now play spoilers. The two top laners going back and forth. Gigo is quite low, but does have the flash and the teleport if he needs to get into a fight. Rift Herald now down to 3,000. The whole squad is here as Matsukaze makes his way onto the screen. 2,000 health and dropping. Desamus going to land a Sonic Wave. Will he go in? Yes, he will. Who ended up picking it up? We'll have to see. His first blood goes over to Greftar. There's a solo kill by Gigo on the top side of the map. Matsukaze can't get away from the Vex either. Jojo finally does fall. Greftar looking for a fear, not quite able to find it. Ends up sniping him out. Another triple kill around Rift Herald. This time, though, it's Greftar who gets it, and it was Red who picked up the Rift Herald as well.
Aegis securing the Rift Herald in a steal smite here once again. Crastiel.
What are you doing? Oh, okay, he at least gets away. If Titan hits 6, he's dead, though.
Yes. I wish I could see the XP on the Ashe right now, but yeah, Titan, if he had level 6, he could have definitely gotten at least one more kill over the red buff wall there, or absolutely a kill onto Crastiel in the mid lane. Matsukaze, not knowing when Ashe will pop 6, did hold cleanse for that entire team fight. Now we get a replay of the 1v1 outplay on the top side. Guigo didn't quite pick up first blood for himself, but was still able to secure the 1v1 solo kill up here. Very extended replay. We got to see the full poke that Chiari had on to Guigo. But remember, both of these top laners not having ultimate available and Guigo not even having Mega Gnar available for a couple more seconds. It was just the sheer amount of auto attacks that he was landing onto Chiari. Chiari only trading it with that 1 Q does eventually mean that just the power of trading eventually takes him out, and then we get the quick little replay of this one. Desam is just about able to escape, or not even escape, over the red buff wall. That triple kill being picked up by Grevthar. I love seeing Titan's face cam after these games. I would assume he shouted "Let's go" right there. That's what I like to see.
Playing the support Ashe perfectly. 0-3 on the Ashe, set up Grevthar phenomenally. And it felt like kind of difference was not having that Cillian to bring back someone like a Desamus or potentially like a Matsukaze into that fight. Huge difference there for Liberty, so a great ban for Red. And I will say the other thing that I might have to get to in a second here is this blue buff's a bit more contested and I think Red was ready for. The one thing that I think Red really lost on that first Rift Herald Game 1 Camcom is it went over to Gigo and it forced them to make a play top. Aegis now at least has Rift Herald. This Rift Herald can go anywhere on the map, and that freedom opens up the map a whole lot more for Red.
Grevthar sitting at 4,500 total gold right now at just 10 minutes full. Everfrost completed for him as well. One of the more expensive mythics for mid laners. Crastiel keeping up in CS, but obviously not going to be able to keep up in gold. First item, Merc Treads will keep him alive in lane. I don't think that will give him any sort of kills anytime soon in this lane, but just being able to live and not give Grevthar any more lead than he already has is mostly his goal from this point on. First Dragon still sitting on the map with this big of a lead, 1,500 gold right now for Red. They can start transitioning that into the First Dragon here, hopefully soon, but might just get a mid lane fight with the Rift Herald being dropped before that.
Oh, the Ashe arrow splits the uprights between Was and Crastiel, so that Ashe will not pick up a kill. And I think now JoJo and Aegis rotate to the top side of the map. There's already a plate down. You see the blue ping go out. That seems to be the target for this Rift Herald, but they quickly see a teleport channel defensively here from Crastiel, and that means, well, it's time to go back to the mid lane as we have a bit of a dance off here for where exactly we want to put Rift Herald. For Red, they finally decide it will be mid. Can Grevthar get this first plate before?
Oh, not the first plate. That's Flash.
He has to flash away from the depth charge. Desamus is going to go in. They left Grevthar all alone. He is able to make some space. He will go down. That's a huge shutdown as JoJo is going to go in, but JoJo bites off more than he can chew, and Red just throws away 2 kills for a charge in the mid lane, and only Aegis got gold because I don't think Grevthar was in range.
I think Grevthar did get the plates, but I don't think he got the plate after the Rift Herald died. And with that very small 2-pick lead that Liberty was able to secure there in the mid lane, absolutely transition that into the First Dragon as well. So, like I always say, the eventual trade on First Rift Herald for First Dragon will still come into play in this game too here today. Grevthar, though, he just walked way too close to that first tower, right? He thought that he, like you did say, he wanted to be able to get that first plate before the Rift Herald charged for the extra defense being taken out by it as well. And just unfortunately, JoJo and Aegis not on the same wavelength as him, so they walked away, leaving him to die. Kiari could be dead here in the well.
Gigo hitting a Gnar, but the Scion incredibly tanky. This matchup has not gone Kiari's way like it did on the Graves, but the Scion has done a good job of simply just staying alive, though he has not gotten a single plate, not even a point of damage onto that top outer turret. And makes me feel like the Graves might have been the call, but we'll have to see. Late game with the Scion can do is we get a fight down in the bottom side of the map, at least Desamus and our camera were rotating down there, but we get excited for nothing as everyone will simply just disengage.
Yeah, definitely could have been an engage potentially onto Aegis as he was just kind of hovering between the lanes. He has walked back up to this mid lane, though. It is currently a 2v2 here in the mid lane. Excellent
what
arrow.
What a snipe. That is a dead Orianna.
Oh,
that
my
is
gosh.
the Ashe that we were talking about, the support Ashe. You just launch arrows and Liberty has to respect it.
He's having such a good time in this lane right now. He is still just hard vibing in the bot lane. Almost completed his goal. He is here to press E and press R, and boy, has he been pressing them so well in this game too right now. Kiari forced to take a, I was going to say reset, but no, he was forced to walk mid to keep that mid tower alive. Unfortunately, that means no one is up here to protect the top tower. Rift Herald not even dropped up here. Guigo, unfortunately, not being able to take it before the 14-minute mark means that he misses out on a couple plates, but first tower once again secured by Red. Gonna attempt to trade for the first tower on the bot side here, but Titan and JoJo are still very strong.
No arrow on the Ashe means they could have attempted this dive. There's no one close. There's a teleport up for Grepthar, though, if they want to go in. Drip charge going on to JoJo. Here's the teleport from Grepthar. They have to disengage immediately. Will they chase with the Vex ult? No, the Shadow Surge could have potentially knocked out Wasp, got the reset, but they're able to disengage. Meanwhile, Crastiel in his own jungle getting dove on by Aegis and Gigo, able to flash away. Aegis will go chasing. He will pick up the kill, luckily, but unfortunately, they're going to walk right into Kiari. But the Scion, nowhere near as scary. They have second Rift Herald, and I think they would have dropped this on the tier 2 top lane, but they have to get forced back by Kiari.
That was a pixel-perfect flash there by Titan away from Desamus' kick. He hit it the second Desamus jumped behind him on the ward hop. That was really quite perfect. I don't even think JoJo died in that fight either, right? So they put all of the resources into the bot side, and without being able to get anything means that they will lose top side on top of that as well. Rift Herald is still in the pocket of, or second Rift Herald is still in the pocket of Aegis, most likely with him pathing bot side here, looking to drop that on the bot outer turret, taking the mid outer turret eventually with the sort of split push that Grepthar does have. He is still sitting 4-1. He is still sitting 1.5 items, very large lead over Crastiel's half an item that he is still currently working on. So you still have to be worried about Grepthar. You have killed him once, but you have to still be able to keep him down in his team fights, and he will just keep scaling up more and more.
Rift Herald and Aegis have had an interesting battle. That first Rift Herald ended up getting his team double killed. I feel like it's the easy play is just drop it mid as dragon spawns. You force Liberty to answer, but well, he was hovering bot side like you mentioned, Capcom, and now he honestly has not made up his mind what he wants to do. He's entered that brush now 4 times. He finally will reset. I think he wants to drop it mid. That's what it feels like he wants to do, unless he gets a crazy good opportunity to drop it elsewhere.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they can take that mid tower without a Rift Herald, so that's why I was kind of trying to predict them to drop it bot side. 45 seconds on second dragon of the game would be first dragon for Red. That's the hook.
Oh, huge hook onto Aegis, who just gets caught in the river. Solar Flare is going to keep him alive. Teleport's coming in. The Ignite, he doesn't go down either. The teleport did get stopped, though, by Kiari. So Gigo not able to join that fight. Kiari won't either, so it'll be a 4v4. But Aegis this time, without the Zillion, managed to stay alive. A fantastic Solar Flare by JoJo. Huge props to him to keep his jungler alive, though the reset from Aegis does mean Liberty will have a bit of Dragon priority, but that River Scuttle ward will make it a bit harder for them to take, so I think they're going to try and look for another pick here.
Still not 100% certain that they can take this Aegis healing off the bot wave as well. So everything that they just threw into Aegis now is on cooldown. Now Red has priority over this one once again. Liberty attempting to take a reset. Very, very small window for Red to be able to find more tempo on this map. They're able to take that mid outer turret finally, again, without the help of that Rift Herald. Looking to drop it bot lane here onto Crastiel, left all alone.
Nice. A second arrow onto Crastiel. That one a bit easier, Capcom. It wasn't the cross map like we saw in the first one, but we questioned the Ashe, and 18 minutes in, the Ashe has been the perfect pick.
No. You questioned it. I never questioned. I said this Ashe was going to be the hyper carry of this team.
I think we might have different memories of how that draft transpired. But you know what? You already picked Red to go all the way, which is a very bold pick. So I'll let you have this one, Capcom. They do get the Ocean Drake. It's 1-1 on Dragon since we get a Mountain Soul. Rift Herald got the charge, but Kiari's teleport stopped Titan from pushing anymore. And Red now has a pretty commanding 4K gold lead, though that some of that will start to fall away as Kiari and company should get this bot tier 1 as he misses the back just barely.
That was so close to Titan taking a death there. But yeah, that entire fight came through from Aegis just simply not dying.
Oh, here comes the hook. Teleport is going to come in for both mid laners here. Crastiel and Grepthar will join the fight. The tower will go down. All 5 members of Liberty already there. So Red will just back away. Never mind. Here comes Kiari looking for an all on the Gigo. Meganar will be proc. Here comes JoJo backline. Asher gonna land onto Crastiel once again. A 3-man Gnar into the wall. And that is all for Liberty as Desamus and Wasp have to run away.
No,
Wasp fails the flash over the wall, so he will go down as well. A 4-for-1 off the back of a glorious Ash Arrow by Titan into the Gnar.
These Ash Arrows, man, have been so insane from Titan every single time. Landing it onto Crastiel, the only AP damage CC threat that Liberty has, being taken out before every single fight. That's just, he's so far behind at this point that the only thing that he can do is hope to land R onto 3 or 4 people, and that is the extent of his usefulness in these team fights. Now, does Samus don't die for your red buff? Okay, he will be okay, but yes, Red, they keep finding these little tiny micro leads, and again, it all spawned off of Aegis not dying for that second tower, or the second dragon even. They took the first outer turret with, or the third outer tower with that, then they took the dragon, then they took the next outer turret, then they just keep finding more and more leads off of just these little tiny advantages that they're able to continuously and consistently find across the map. We get a replay of this last team fight. The very early TP even by Grevstar was also what was able to secure the fight. JoJo, little mini flank solar flare was what originally started that fight. Huge CC chain, Titan arrow, Grevstar with the super, the Gnar even with the super massive triple Gnar ultimate as well. It was just CC into CC into CC. We have more CC than you. You can't move. We'll kill you. We get the Titan cam once again, man. The observers love to see Titan after these team fights every time. Again, wish we could hear what he's saying. He's cheering. He's having a good time right now.
And the interesting thing is, when we talked about that Aegis engage, the solar flare that saved him, Matsukaze had cleansed that. So cleanse is on cooldown for that fight, as he pointed out. Oh no, another Ash Arrow. Luckily, Matsukaze has cleanse, but that's a trade you'll take any day of the week. The Ash Arrow is up way before Matsukaze's cleanse. But as he said, the solar flare gets Matsukaze caught. He then gets Nard into the wall because he has to be very careful what he cleanses. And now, next time the fight's up, Matsukaze's positioning has to be perfect, or he'll just die to the exact same combo again.
Yeah, all in the positioning before these team fights. The classic, win the team fight before it even begins. If Titan goes into a team fight without his ultimate, that is a big power point for Liberty.
Oh, Kiari did steal the blue buff away from Gigo. He Nars him into the wall, but the rest of the team is there. Outside the Triforce, the Gnar has gone more tanky, so there is not that much damage available. And the Ash Arrow cooldown is what you need to keep your eyes on here for Red. They are fighting around that Ash Arrow from Titan every single time. It's up in about 10 seconds. There's no way out of it, but Titan very aggressively on the other side of the wall. Hex Flash from Waz came out. I think wanted the depth charge to land, but Titan was able to spot that one out, but it was still a scary position for a moment there.
Very scary positioning. At this point, Red can have very scary positioning. You have 550 shutdown on your Gnar. You have 150 on Aegis and 150 on Titan. Titan, before that last team fight, didn't have a single kill. He was the full assist, full utility Ashe. Now he does have 2 kills. He has 2 items as well. Both of them very high damage. He built the same exact build now as he did in Jinx game 1. If that just shows you how much damage he knows that he is able to be doing on this Ashe. Add that up onto very utility Hawk Shot plus Enchanted Crystal Arrow plus the slows from his passive, and you get just what seems to be a better Jinx.
That's proven to be that way. I mean, I think the Arrow is, if you can do as much damage as the Jinx, which clearly he's building for, the Arrow almost probably better than a Super Mega Death Rocket. I know the damage you can put out, you can steal the objectives, but the guaranteed stuns has gotten them 3 kills onto Crastiel now, who is 0-4-3, coming off of an MVP performance on that Zillion. I think you're right. This feels like, I don't want to say a poor man's Jinx, but a better Jinx, honestly.
Red able to easily take the second dragon. No contest whatsoever from Liberty. They 100%. Oh, that was a very fast arrow. I forgot that they changed the arrow that now scales up with speed the further it travels as well. That I haven't actually seen how fast it could go, but that was a really, really fast arrow.
Hey, if it lands onto Crastiel again, I would have told Titan that he has been, sniper unlocked, but absolutely fantastic. The objective bounties are up for Liberty, so they do get a little bit extra gold in that trade of turret for turret, though they did lose a dragon as well, but it was only second dragon of the game. I don't think they are too concerned, but the map pressure for Red is the huge difference for game one. And I know the Ashe has stolen the show, but on the top side of the map, Guigo has just done everything he wanted. He was bullied all game by Chiari on that Graves. This Scion has let Gnar basically just be a roaming threat. I mean, 252 CS, 3-0-2, a near 700 gold bounty as a solar flare this time lands onto Crastiel. Jojo will go in. Teleport is going to be channeled by Scion as Jojo just gets caught out with the solar flare. The first real mistake of Red this game, and JoJo's going to pay for it, and they should lose their tier 1 mid turret for that unless Aegis and company want to go in. I don't think they do. No,
I think that will just be the disengage. Take one pick. Don't overextend by Liberty. They are not in a place to make mistakes right now. They can take a lead and then just, okay, we got a little bit of gold. We have an advantage here for a couple of minutes. We can just continue to push these waves in. Play it safe. You're still not on that huge of a timer. I'm pretty sure Xayah and Orianna will eventually outscale, so I would definitely say that they're not on any sort of timer right now to be making very scary plays like continuing to push that tower. But yes, excellent flash by Crastiel. The solar flare did unfortunately connect on him, but the flash immediately after, I don't know if it was intentional or not, did mean that the Zenith Blade did connect and bring Jojo underneath the tower and into all 5 members of Liberty. He tried to flash away, but when you're brought in the 5 members plus tower, you're dead almost every single time, even with flash. So excellent play right there by Crastiel. Again, I don't know if it was calculated or not, but I'm going to go ahead and say it was.
I'm surprised they didn't follow it up with the Ashe Arrow, potentially the Shadow Surge from Grevthar, since they had Crastiel, at least what it looked like, is dead. As you said, a great flash prediction, we'll call it, from Crastiel to stay alive. But that flash is on cooldown, which means easy pickings here for Titan. Though I will say, if you're a Red fan, Liberty didn't get anything off of that. They didn't even get first tower, mid tower, which has that bounty. They didn't lose anything besides the support, which, I'm sorry, support mains, but you're a support. Your life isn't as meaningful.
Oh,
but
no.
Boss has to be careful. He's going to eat the Ashe Arrow to the face, but there's no one here for backup as JoJo's going to go down once again. Aegis is incredibly low. Gigo's now all alone, getting closer to that Mega Gnar. Here comes Grevthar looking for a huge Shadow Surge. Matsukaze is low, but the Shadow Surge is on cooldown as it looks like Titan will get caught out here. The support trades his life for the top. The Scion, there it is. 0-3, getting closer to that 0-15 power spike for Chiari. Red's getting a little more aggressive than I think they need to be right now, Camcom.
Yeah, Red very much like to play with Temple, like to play with, what do you call it, mental as well, right? So they get one little tempo lead, they're able to transition that into huge more tempo leads, but they lose their tempo even a little bit. Just the little tiny tempo that they lost with Jojo dying the first time. Now all of a sudden Jojo dies again. They could have lost another member. Luckily Jojo doesn't have a bounty, so nothing absolutely huge going in the favor of Liberty. Baron started up by Red, but I'm pretty sure it's just a bait. They want Liberty to walk in, and Was is going to be the first member to do so.
Ton of return damage does go out on to Red, and this feels like a disengage, especially with Drag. It could be Mountain Soul Point for Red if they pick it up in 60 seconds. I think that is their play. They do have the Ashe Arrow up, the Shadow Surge nearly up for Grevthar as well, as they'll try another Death Bush. Here comes the teleport from Crastiel. Waz going to be the first one to face check it. Jojo will go in. Soul Flare's going to land onto Waz. There is one kill and a reset for Grevthar, but they walk right into the command Shockwave as they lose 2 members. It's a 2-for-2 trade. Titan still staying alive. Guigo has to be careful. Aegis going to get that reset for the Orianna. And both teams lose 2 players, and I think in that scenario, especially with the kill on to Grevthar, that favors Liberty, Camcom, because that is a shutdown bonus for them. As Guigo looks for a kill, can't quite find it.
Mids and supports will be dead for this dragon fight here in 10 seconds. I'm a very much believer that there will be another fight here in just 10 seconds for this dragon, or even just a steal potential for Desamas here. He is running straight for 3 seconds left on the steal. Aegis making sure that there are no camps remaining for Desamas. 2-level lead now for Aegis over his opponent jungler, and unfortunately I might have cast cursed a little bit there. Second dragon in a row uncontested now for Red. Liberty, now they're on a timer. You have 5 minutes before Mountain Soul is on the map for Red. You got to make something happen before then.
potentially a pick at Baron as they'll put the wards up. And I will say, despite Red having a pretty sizable lead, the gold lead at 7,000 right now, Capcom, these last few fights have shown what we talked about in the draft as a concern. There's not a lot of damage for Red outside of Grefthar, and they're walking into more and more damage for Liberty as Chiari is going to get caught out here by Jojo and Guigo. They are going to be able to block the ultimate to try and get away, but this Scion is just so tanky. He is laughing at the damage that Guigo and Jojo are throwing out, and now there's a chance for a return here, though this all looked to be a bait onto the Baron. The other remaining members will hop over, but Crastiel is there. He sniffs it out. And so they basically get nothing out of that engage onto Chiari in the top lane.
Man, that was so well played by Guigo and Jojo as well. Unfortunately, they are just the two lowest damage champions on Red, and you're going to need some sort of armor pen to be able to kill this very beefy Scion for Chiari. Even they were able to take that inhibitor tower, so that is another, again, very micro lead. We're playing for the overall tempo of this game in the favor of Red. Objective bounties are on the map right now for Liberty, just in case they needed some other reason to be playing for objective, which they know that they're supposed to be playing for objectives. Objective baddies are just kind of there as a gentle reminder. I'm scared for the boss again.
This time Wasp going to play this a lot safer. Red buff will go over to Red, and I think really all eyes are on Guigo on the bot side of the map. He does level up to 18, so this time it's Guigo with the 2-level advantage over Chiari. And if that bot inhibitor goes down, that opens up Baron for free because Red has a dragon to give away here, Camcom. They would happily take dragon for Baron trade any day of the week, and Guigo can maybe contest on the bot side of the map. And Chiari is not slowing down this Gnar. He's preventing Gnar, but he's not stopping him at all as he finally will back. So it looks like Guigo wants to reset here real quickly, but with the teleport, I'm assuming he's going to go right back down to the bottom side of the map.
Yes, teleports available for both of these top laners. Grevthar just used his teleport to get to the top side, so he absolutely cannot be going bot lane for the next couple minutes with Baron on the map, and especially with Liberty knowing that he doesn't have teleport available. 4v5 up here on the top side with Chiari walking up. As I said, the Guigo is now also walking up, but very small window of a 4v4 right here in the river if either side wants to engage. Most likely Red the one wanting to engage.
Chiari maybe looking for an unstoppable onslaught onto a key member. It's now a 5v5. Gnar, here comes the arrow. It's going to land onto Samus. This is the ghost signal. Solar Flare onto 2. Matsukaze is going to cleanse it. Jojo will go in. Mega Gnar is going to proc just in time with the 2-man Gnar into the wall. The Samus cannot flash away. Now Waz is the next target. Titan's going to pick up 1. Matsukaze still throwing out a ton of damage as the Scion will fall to double kill. For Aegis, the Ash Arrow starts another just disastrous chain of events, and this should be Baron for Red. Though Liberty does have a minor contest with Crastiel and Matsukaze, though neither of them have their ults, so I think they'll just reset and hand it over.
And on the player cams, once again, you can see Titan giving Grevthar a big ol' high five after that team fight. Once again, still sitting deathless on the Ashe, and throughout that team fight as well, he was sitting completely untouched. Nobody was able to get on top of him whatsoever. The only thing that dealt any damage was the pullback Feather Storm that Matsukaze was able to land from really across the screen. We will get a replay on that last team fight. Guigo, you thought he was picked. You thought that he wasn't going to get Mega Gnar in time, and with the last couple of autos that he was able to get on the Chiari, just about able to pop the Mega Gnar and even live off of the extra healing that he gets in the melee form there as well. Chiari, unfortunately, he was almost able to survive the 2v5 that we saw earlier in the game on the bot side. Yes, that's what I saw on the cameras right after the team fight as well. First time they haven't showed Titan on a player cam replay, but you know, Chiari, yeah, unfortunately, he cannot survive a 1v5. He's getting close to that point though.
Unfortunately, the Scion hasn't done any split pushing that we were hyping up, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Chiari go anywhere because Guigo has shut him down. They have Baron. They're going to engage onto Waz here, who has to flash away. He just dies. Asher comes out from Titan. Chiari now getting tankier. As Aegis looks for the 1v3. Featherstorm's going to come out, and now a re-engage here. The Gnar doesn't quite land the stun, but it's enough to force 2 members back to the team. It's all up to Crastiel, and I don't think the Orianna is going to stay alive that much longer. Jojo and Aegis will go chasing. Orianna has the speed, but not enough to get away from the Zenith blade here. Flash over the wall. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is looking to end the game through the mid lane with Baron, and Red has silenced the playoff demons after an 0-4 start here, Capcom. They should have enough. They do have a teleport here from Gigo as well to stop the minion and make it invulnerable, but they're not even going to need it. They're going to tie this series up at 1 aside. Potentially, you have the damage with Baron to win this game, I believe.
Yes, all 5 members wearing the purple Baron cloaks. The 4-0 start to playoffs that Liberty has.